What's up, my painting friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stoof, and today we're going to do a painting lesson step by step in real time to paint a black kitten. So a little kitty cat. I had a request from one of my subscribers for a beginner lesson for painting a kitten. So that's what we're going to paint today using acrylic paint. I'm going to try to stick to just these 4 paintbrushes here to make it nice and simple for you guys. We have a medium flat tipped brush, which is going to be great for the fur and just sketching everything out and getting the concept, the shape of the cat. We have a fine round tipped brush, which is going to be good for the detail in the eyes and the nose and getting little bits of fur, just those little bit of detail in the fur. And then we're going to have this larger angled brush, which is going to be nice for just blocking in lots of color. So the sections of the fur that are not going to have a lot of detail and the background would be great for this large brush. And then we have a medium-sized angled brush, which is similar to my flat-tipped brush, just has an angled top. And that's also going to be good for fur or any type of straight line that I want to achieve. So those are the 4 brushes we're going to try to work with. For our setup, we have our 12-inch by 16-inch canvas here. We have a cup of water, a palette. This palette is just wax paper. It's a nice, cheap palette that you can use, and it's disposable, so whenever you're done with your paint you can just throw away your palette just like that. And then we have some acrylic paints. So I like to use these basics because they're nice big tubes that they come in. I also have a couple Arteza acrylic paints that I won in a giveaway contest, which I think are pretty good. And then I have some Galleria acrylics, and these are probably the best quality but also the most expensive. So we have a couple different brands here. I have a little bit of range of color I'm going to work with here. I tried to minimize the amounts of colors that I would need for this. So first we're going to be using cadmium yellow medium. We're also going to use some burnt umber, which is just like a nice warm brown. I wanted to have a nice almost metallic background, so I'm going to use some silver from my Arteza paints here. Has that nice metallic color to it, a little bit of a shine. And then we have rose, which is like a cooler purpley red, pinkish color. We also have some white. I don't think I've ever done a realistic painting without using any white. It's probably the color that I always use the most of. We also have black. Since we're doing a black kitten, we're going to need some black paint. Lots of black. Probably didn't need that much. We also have blue. So this is an ultramarine blue, so it's a cooler blue. And this ultramarine blue is going to be great for the background and for the bits of fur that are reflecting the light on the cat. And then we have a yellow green, which I think is going to be a nice color for this kitten's eyes. And that is our palette. So we have a pretty limited palette. Sometimes I like to go crazy and, use every color that I own in a paint tube, but for this one we're going to try to stick to those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 colors. That seems doable. And then we also have some napkins because I'm a messy painter. And I have a measuring tape that I'm going to use to draw my grid on my painting canvas here. And I think that's about it. That's all we need to get started. I also have my reference photograph, which I'm going to show you guys right here. So as you can see in the reference photograph, I already put a grid on the photo, and I set that photo size to be 12 inches by 16 inches, which is the same size as my canvas. So then I could separate the grids to be spaced every 4 inches. So going across the bottom, we have 3 grids there, or 3 little boxes along the bottom. Because we have every 4 inches, there's a little tick that creates our grid. And then we're gonna do the same thing on our canvas here so we can match everything up with our reference photo onto the canvas. So this is a little bit easier when you have a ruler sometimes. And then every 4 inches, I'll just put a little tick. There we go. And I'll do the same thing at the top. Okay, so in general, that is how we have our grid on the canvas. Now I'm going to look at my reference photograph and see where the grid matches up on the photo to sketch out the kitten on our canvas. Again, I'm just going to keep using this black, so I'm dipping the brush into the black, then I'm dipping the brush in the water a little bit just so it's a little thinned down. Alright, now looking at my reference photo, I see most of the kitten's face is in this portion of the middle square here, so I'm just going to start with that eye and just very loosely try to get that shape in the eye. The kitten's glancing off to the side so we don't see, the direct eye looking at us. And the second one, if you look here, it's right at the same level. If you make a straight line with your brush, just holding it up like this, you can see that directly at that same spot is the bottom of the other eye. And looking at the top, it's down just a little bit from the top of this one because it's farther away, so it ends up getting a little bit smaller. And then the nose is right about here. The nose is really dark. So make it a line straight down from the eye. It's about right in the center of the eye is where the edge of the nose is. So that's another way for you to see where things should go. Okay, now I'm just gonna get the shape. So, now that we have the kitten sketched out, I'm going to let this paintbrush go in the water there. Then I'm going to take my large brush, I'm going to blend my metallic silver with some pink and white and some blue. One more white and some more pink. And that's like a nice light purple, cool purple color. And that's exactly what I wanted for the background. So you want to use a nice thick application of paint for your background. Make sure you're covering up all the white space. You can go over the outline of the body just a little bit so you still know where those boundaries are, but you're not going to leave any white space for the background. Alright, cool. So we got our kitten there. I'm going to clean this brush off. And then the table that she's on, we'll use some more silver just to use up that color. And brown and white. And we'll use a hint of blue too, sure. And we'll just get a nice little base. You don't want to use pure white unless you really want to draw attention to that spot, because white is going to be really bright. And when you look at a painting, the first thing you look at is, what the brightest or where the most contrast is in the piece. So if you have a spot that's just pure white, that's where everybody's eye is going to go first. And we don't want everybody to look at the table first. We want everybody to look at the kitten. Okay, great. Now I can take my black and just start to fill in. Again, with this big brush, it's saving me a lot of time because I can cover more of the canvas with, you know, less time. Once I get this base bit of black in here, then I'm going to start to add some highlights. I think I'm gonna actually take some blue and brown, and I just blended blue and brown right here. And I'm just gonna put a little something here so we know where that kitten's arm is. And I'm gonna go back to my black without washing off my brush, so it's gonna blend in with those grays, gray, blue, brown a little bit. And I'm just going right up to that border for now. I'm gonna add some fur later. So right now he looks like a Black Panther because he's not furry. Or, you know, it looks like he has really short hair, not his big kitten floofy fur. Alright, and then we got a little bit of a lighter base color on this side. Not really going into too much detail yet, just so I can tell where the different parts of the cat start and end. And then for the face, got this black up here. And then I'm going to take this lighter color, mix some pink into it, because I have like a light gray purple up here. Okay. Take some more blue. Just taking some more blue again. Blue-gray color. Just blending that in. Okay. Now I'm going to put this brush away and I'm going to go to my, let's go with this flat tipped brush, see how that does. And I'm just taking some black and I'm blending it a little bit into that gray blue color I made earlier. And here I'm just going to work on taking the brush and you're just kind of picking it up. So let me show you on here. So you start with the brush pressed down and then you lift up. Pressed and then lift up. And it kind of gives you that look that looks like little bits of fur sticking off. So I start pressed down and I lift up while I pull out with the brush, pull to the side. So the kitten's already looking a little bit cuter and a little bit less scary because he's starting to get nice and fluffy. Okay, now I'm going to take some white with the black I already have on my brush and some pink, a little bit of brown, and more white. Just trying to brighten this up. Let's add some more pink, white. This pink is not very strong of a pigment, so you can add a lot of it without it really doing too much. Everybody's paint tube colors are going to vary, so some people might have a pink that's a little bit stronger in pigment, or it's, you know, saturation whenever you blend it in, but mine's not very strong. I'm gonna take some white and lots of blue. Let's see what I can do here. It's like a little bit of something to make it look like this ear has some depth. Put a little bit of blue in there. Alright, good. Now take some black again. Just kind of do this. Got some lighter ones, so I'm just gonna take a little more white. Go right back into here. Then we've got a little pink, white. So we've got a little bit of that gray pink color right here. Cute little eyebrows. Almost. Got that same thing right above the eye on here. So they are like cute little eyebrows. And that kind of goes down just like this. You can always blend that in if this color already dried that you're blending into, then just add a little more black. And that should let you blend it right up in there. And we also have a little highlight right here. Got some black right at the nose. The nose, a little bit of an upward shape at the top, almost like a little U. Little U shape there. And then the shape of the face has a shadow right here. This is all pretty dark here. Okay, and then we can take some pink again, white, brown. Keep lightening it up by adding more white. And I'm just holding the brush. So you can either hold the brush like this, or you're gonna get, you know, a lot of paint coverage, or you can hold the brush like this and get less paint coverage. So I'm holding the brush like this to get those nice, smooth little fur marks. Then we gotta go, just blending some brown and black here. And we're gonna add a few more little furs here. You can make them kind of twisted. They don't have to all be perfectly straight sticking out. Some of them can be a little bit curvy. And they're not all going to stick the same way either. Some of these little furs are going to crisscross. Take that lighter gray again. Just apply a little bit of fur here. Got a couple little highlights on the fur. And I'm going to take some blue, really blend that in with that gray. So it's just a little bit standing out from the black. I'm just going to do some more little fur spots. Alright, now we've got the kitten mostly done. We just got to work on the eyes. So We have some black. Now I'm switching to my fine brush, my little round-tipped brush here. And we can see that there's this little black spot. Alright, now I'm going to clean off this brush. I'm going to mix my yellow green with white, a little bit of blue. Okay, we're going to mix it with more blue, more green. So we're going to have two shades for the eye. Part of it's going to be in shadow, and that's when we're going to use this blue-green. Be nice and controlled with this. If the color blends with the black, just let it be, or keep painting over it with more paint. Alright, so now we need the light version, and we're mixing more of that green with white, and we're not adding any blue. That's going to give us a nice piercingly light green. Okay, so now we got that really pretty green in the eyes. Now I need to clean off that brush. I'm gonna grab some black and fix the shape of the eyes a little bit. Okay, and then we need a little bit of the highlights, so mixing brown and white with some gray that's already there. Right here we have a little highlight. Okay, and now for the final touch is just to add a nice little white highlight in the eye. That's what really brings an animal portrait to life. So I'm just mixing in that white, trying to get like a not perfectly crystal clear, you know, white with nothing else in it. There's a little tiny bit of black in there, so it's getting a little gray. But I want to make sure I have a good amount of paint on there, so I can just do a nice little dab, and it'll give me that highlight on the eye. There we go. And that's basically it. I'm going to switch back to my flat-tipped brush and take a little bit of brown. I'm going to touch up this table. Alright, so let's see, one other little thing. We have a couple tiny little whiskers, and I didn't talk about this brush yet, but this is a liner brush. If you have a liner brush and you want to go into the detail that I like to go in, then this is a great brush. I'm going to dip it in the water, and we're going to give this kitty a couple little whiskers. You want to make sure you don't have clumps like this on the brush. And you just kind of throw some little whiskers on there. I'm very lightly holding this brush. And we'll have some whiskers that are a little more black showing up on the other side. there we go. Finished painting.